Hello there, I am Geçvakit1. In this video, we'll be looking at the ways that Angular helps us to form validation. We'll focus on client-side validation and using the built-in Angular form properties. How will our example? First, name is required. Second, username is not required and minimum length 3, maximum length 8. Email is not required but has to be a valid email. Form submit is disabled if the form isn't valid. Show a required or invalid email error. Alert awesome if submitted correctly. Now that we know what we want, let's get to building. Angular provides properties on forms that help us validate them. They give us various information about a form or its input and are applied to form and inputs. First, ngValid. ngValid is Boolean tells whether an item is correctly valid based on the rules you place. Second, ngInvalid. ngInvalid is Boolean tells whether an item is correctly invalid based on the rules you place. Third, ngPreston. ngPreston is Boolean true if the form or input has not been used yet. Fourth, ngDirty. ngDirty is Boolean true if the form or input has been used. Fifth, ngTouched. Boolean true if the input has been blurred. Okay, setting up our form. We will use a simple form to demonstrate and need two files. Index.html is here and app.js is here. Now, let's create a form in index.html. Okay, form is here. And close the form. Okay, let's define a form attribute. First attribute is name. For name is user form. Okay. Second attribute ngSubmit. ngSubmit is an Angular attribute. Okay. This is I define a function submit form and function parameter 1 user form dot $valid. Okay, and the no validate. Okay. Okay. Pass in the variable if our form is valid or invalid. And no validate prevents HTML5 validation since we will be validating ourselves. Now, define a name input. Okay. First, define a div and close the div. Class is form group. Okay. And in the div text, define a label. Sorry. And close the label. Okay. This is name input and define input. Okay. Input type is text and name is name input. Okay, name enough. Class is form control. Okay. And ng model is name. Okay. And also required. Okay. This is the close to div and define a username input. Duplicate this div array and pasting. Div class is form group and label is username. Okay. And input name is username. Okay. Class form control. Ng model username and okay not required and ng min left is 3 ng max length is 8. Okay. And last define email input is here. Okay, here and email is here and type is email, name is email and ng model is email. It is not required. Okay, Control S and last define a submit button is here and button type is submit and class is button primary. Okay. And value is submit. Okay. Control S. A few key points to note here. First, no validate. This will prevent the default HTML5 validation since we'll be doing that ourselves. Second, we have applied ng model to our input so that we have data from our forms bound to Angular variables. Third, ng min length and ng max length on username will create those rules. And the name input is required here. And the email input is type is email. Now that we have our simple form, let's create our Angular app and controller that we have already applied to it using ng app and ng controller. Okay, ng app is here and ng controller is here and ng app name is validation app and ng controller name is main controller and my custom script is here app.js and app.js. Okay. First, create Angular app var validation app is a Angular dot module. Okay. Name is validation app. Okay. And create Angular controller. Validation app dot controller is name is main controller and a function. Okay, sorry. Okay. And $scoop. Okay. Function to submit the form after all validation has occurred. This is a defined submit form function is here. Control copy and in a controller define a function scoop dot submit form is here. This is a function and is valid. Okay. And check to make sure the form is completely valid. If is valid. Okay. And create a alert. And this is amazing. Okay, Control S and Control S. And let's see. Shown Explorer and open index.html and let's see. This is a Angular form is a submit is here. Doesn't not anything. And email input, username input and name input is here. Refresh it and open the Atom editor. Now we get to start using Angular properties. First, let's disable our submit button. We only want it disabled if our form is $invalid. And add is here and ng disabled is here and user form dot $invalid. Okay, Control S and refresh it. This is a disabled. Okay, submit is here. Required here. Okay, with just that a little code, our form button will be disabled if the form is $invalid. This means that our name input field is required and our email input field requires a valid email. Now, let's showing an error message ng show. ng valid and ng invalid will automatically determine if an input is good based on the rules placed on it in your form. Let's go through and add an error message for each of our input if they are not $valid and have already been used. Okay. Under name input is here. And define a ng show. Okay. ng show is user form dot name dot dollar invalid and is here, not dollar Preston. User form dot name dot dollar Preston. Okay. And define a class help block is here, and message is your name is required. Okay. 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 Control and okay. And the username input is here, and Control Y, a min length and max length. ng show is here. User form dot username. Sorry, this is username and delete. Okay, completely deleted. And let's define ng show. Okay, user form dot username dot dollar error. This is important. Dollar error dot min length. Okay, and a class help block. Okay, message is username is too short. Okay, also let's define ng show for max length. This is user form dot username error max length. Message is username is too long. Control S. Also define a email for email input. This is here, and ng show user form dot email dot dollar invalid and not dollar Preston. User form dot email dot dollar Preston. Okay, and class is help block. Message is enter a valid email. Okay, Control S. Let's see. Is it working? Okay, refresh it. Is here and here and here email. Okay, Enter a valid email. Username. Username is too short. Okay. Geç vakit 1. Username is too long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a geç vakit. Okay. Your name is required. Okay. This is working. Okay. And dollar gmail.com. This is a disable message. Mistake message is here and here. Okay. And geç vakit 1. Click the submit button. This is amazing. Okay. And disable submit message is here. Okay. Since we are using Bootstrap, we will use the classes they provide. Has error. This will get us that nice error and color around our form group. Okay. ng class allows us to add classes based on an expression. In this case, we want to add a hasError class to our form group if an input is $invalid and not Priston. Okay. In name input, div form group is here and ng class defined here and okay has error. Has error is user form dot name input is here name dot dollar invalid and not $priest. Okay, Control S and refresh it. Okay. This is a color is red for because I used the ng class has error. Okay, let's continue and in username div form group is also duplicated and testing. Has error user form and username $invalid and not $Priston. Also email group is here and testing email and email. Control S. Now our form has the correct Bootstrap error classes. Control S and refresh it. Okay, this is a Bootstrap error classes. It is working. Okay. Now, once we fill out all our information correctly, our form submit button will be activated. It's here and here and is a activate. Submit button activated. Once we submit our form, we'll see the alert message we set up. This is a and click this is amazing. Okay, as you can see, it is easy to use the built-in Angular form validation technique used to create a client-side validated form. Okay, thanks for watching.